galactic civil war spreads across the stars. From the heights of Coruscant to fiery Mustafar, to fight the evil empire, for people join the fray. These are the heroes of the Hydian way.
Welcome to Heroes of the Hydian Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast, and we're playing in Edge Studios' Age of Rebellion system. This is Arc 4, Episode 0.0. I'm Andarta, and I'm the GM for this adventure, and I'm using she/they pronouns.
I'm Henry, I use she/they pronouns, and today I'll be playing myself, using she/they pronouns.
And I'm Joy, and I'm she/her, and I always like Peter Javik, so I'm playing myself.
I'm Semi, pronouns are she, they, and Vadalorn Curse is a self-insert, so I'm also playing myself.
And I'm Erica Goodwitch, playing myself. Usually I play Norin Gremian, they, them engineer scientists.
As I did just say, this is a session 0 because we are 20 episodes into this. We have so many different threads that are going on at the moment that as a editor producer, they are causing my brain to hurt. And also as a GM slash just person who's trying to plot some of this stuff, I'm getting confused. And I think the 5 of us are diverging instead of converging in what we're hoping to get out of this. So I'm wanting to bring us back into like having a common idea and having a common outcome. Plus also talk a bit about where some of these links have come from, like actually filling them in, and where a few of our ones are going. Because while, as an example, when all this started off, before real life became real life, and so many different things have happened to us away from the mic, so many things, there was a actual basic plot to this that is kind of going on in the background. Though also we've had one night take up 20 minus 6, call it 15 episodes, because we started from the gala to now. The gala episode was episode 6, where everyone walked up the ramp describing their really amazing outfits. And we have in the can episode 20. So that's 15 episodes. It has been a time, and we have, in every episode or two, we have been inserting new threads to pull on. Like, we've got the entire Freaky Friday thing going on here. Which
That's a thread I won't be talking about in a bit.
Yeah.
We've got that one, which then also has brought in a few of my other, I don't know what we want to call it, foreshadowing or threats, both work, of introducing Hava, Norin's mother, because, well, I don't remember where. It could have been like the backer section, it could have been the show discussion, but sometime many months ago, I know it's like, yeah, we'll have Norin's mother in the background at the ball, which at the time I've been calling the gala.
That's
And
great, because that was news to me last month.
Fair.
That could just be my memory. Sorry. My terrible, atrocious memory.
Not to go too deep into a rabbit hole, but mentioning paying off threats, paying off foreshadowing / prophecies. Arguably the whole aspect of this, like, quote unquote, the second half of Arc 4 is supposed to be taking place at a vampire's ball, which at the time I had been talking to Like, it was a joke that was going around the backer section of the Hydian Way Discord. And Leslie and I had been joking about it, and I'm pretty sure it's from 22 that the joke was made. Or maybe 23. Like, if it was 23, it would have been like almost just after we started releasing the Hard Road. Way back then. It's like, oh, well, when are you going to do this? Back half of Arc 4. So this is kind of trying to pay that off in a amazingly Star Wars / Endarta style way, and having no idea what the heck a ball actually is. So, have I been doing research? Yes. But, like, at the moment, just from my own notes and whatnot, how about I list out what I've been calling mysteries that we have ahead of us, that, like, we don't need to solve all of them. We don't need to come up with ideas for everything tonight, but at least, like, doing a check-in of this is where all the play has gotten us to for these questions. There's the two branches of assassins. We've got the pair that Vadalorn has just taken down with the surprise intervention of Hookman and Jones, and at least one of those has survived. There's that. There was the one that attacked Kedra and Izazel as Kedra drove them back. Once they were inside the port, firing on them with a disruptor rifle, which at this point I'm just sad with the disruptor rifle. They've hit once. Like, really gotten the disruptor rifle, but they've hit once.
And it was self-inflicted.
No, they hit a Z.
Oh, yeah, that too.
And then rolled perfect on the crit. Like, I'm just, what the? Anyway. So there was that time. There was a bunch of time where life got in the way, and it was just all in the background because, well, we didn't have a joy to take them out, and I didn't want to have an NPC rob Kedra of a dual takedown something. I had no idea. Like, there's a question of, are these two different sets of shooters in two different places linked? Like, is it just a coincidence that they both attack on the same night, the night that the Codfather just arrives? There's the why didn't Port Patrol attack the assassin? Like, they obviously have a boatload of stun rifles. Is it just they're containing until the corporate sector security show up? Or is it they've been paid off? Is it... There's several options, but which one do we kind of want to go with? Or, like, developing a bit of background to that. We have the Trellway disappearance and kidnapping and then recovery, which is okay. From that, okay, why did that happen? And why was Renegade involved? Or Goo. Bad typo, but whatever. Renegade involved. Like, there's options. We still have Amor Still's death, which we've got this weird, horrific mummification that's been sitting around apparently for 2 weeks while everyone's in hyperspace.
Mm-hmm.
Why were they killed? I guess it's kind of, was it on purpose? At this point, probably, but is it linked to the Hutt assassination? Like, it's kind of obvious that yes, it's these people. Like, unless we're introducing a new plot, probably, but why?
Yeah, I do have a theory on both those.
I love the theories. Just to finish my questions of weirdness. So we've got that. Then there's the other operatives. Okay, I'm going to give a listener warning on this. The players that know some of this already, or know this part already, but the listeners won't have heard this aspect yet. There are 7 other teams here, and we know at least one of those has a pair of operatives on it. The Kraken have Alice, Isazel's ex, who alone would be qualified as an operative on account of Anzat snack and Anzat. But, sorry, y'all have gotten Anzat snack stuck in my head.
Hello, it's me. The
Good
Anzac
job.
Snack.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay, so we've got Alice, and the other one that I've mentioning is we've got Hava, which is Norn's mother, who has disappeared in the past, was brought up during the intermission episodes a tiny bit. They are currently with the Kraken. One of the other questions is, okay, we've got 2 teams that have shown up here that have either rebel or rebel-leaning ops teams, because the player crew here is an ops team, just haven't really been solidified as that yet. Are the other 6 having ops teams? Is there any normal team here? Will they win? Will Hutball be played? Okay, then Gottlieb Remish Booze, aka the Hut. It's a weird name, must be said. What is the Hut here for? And what does this Hut do? Like, why is this Hut the target of an assassin? Or a pair of assassins? Are the assassins even here to assassinate the Hut, or is that just a bonus objective? Because 2 assassins in that fashion is... I mean, that'll be a player character crew, not an NPC crew. And just from a general thing of, will the Hutball tournament continue? Go ahead, because I guess it hasn't actually even started yet. And will the meetups that were scheduled to happen between different crews happen? Meaning there were supposed to be a few meetups between, like, I think it was Brental Shipping Transport crew and the Codfather crew. They were supposed to meet up at some point and have a discussion. This was like supposed to be after a Hutball game, so it was like way in the future. Hence the reason why it's not super planned out by anyone. But like, these are the questions that are sort of currently floating. And like, these ones have sort of been posed to the players going on with yesterday. These are the ones that I've been able to come up with. Actually, I will open the floor to the 4 of you for what questions along those lines do y'all have that you'd like to ask?
All right, going down the list. Okay, the Freaky Friday one is the one that's just like the question of like,
Oh, I keep forgetting the Freaky Friday one. I don't get it because it's such a huge thing. And yet, to me, it's also like, I guess we've kind of been doing it so much from the recording side that's become so ingrained in me at this moment, which it shouldn't, but whatever.
it's like, I love it, but it's just like I keep looking at it, it's like this is so much work, and I love it so much, but it's like but it's just a question I ask of just.
It's just
like,
an accident. It was an accident because we made a joke.
We made no, not we.
It was Sammy's
Sammy
joke.
made a joke. Sammy made
Oh,
a
Sammy
joke,
made
the
a joke.
and we yes
And we all went,
and-
ha ha.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm a menace.
but it's just
Yeah.
like the question of it is like, can we solve that without Hava, without Alice? Because like, as much as I have ideas, and I don't know if you would want me to say them on air, like on here, but I have ideas of like things that we could do to like take care of that.
Literally, we just
Okay.
go to bed and then we wake up in our normal bodies, just like, huh, that was weird.
I mean, we could do that. We've put enough into it that I don't think that it quite works that way. It actually becoming something important for us to deal with. It should be, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, because I got 2 ideas that can help you.
Let's
If you
hear
want me to tease them real quick.
Absolutely.
So,
Let's hear 'em.
One is okay, do you want to hear the XP involved one team or the in-game involved one? Because I have one for each.
Let's go for the first one that you said.
So, an XP idea is turning that into a force power. I've already, in the background, I've already burned XP to force Norn to have some force powers against Erica's will.
Burned. Like, I had 85 XP built up in the bank, and you spent 65 of it on force stuff.
I spent 65 of it just so I can get sense on Norin, so Norin can understand Isasel's feelings. I spent 60 XP for that. Everyone needs to know.
Yeah,
But,
Norin now has 3 talent trees, one of which is force sensitive emergent.
This is what happens when I'm allowed any kind of power. But I had an idea of just like creating a force power, turning Freaky Friday into a force power that just like allowing like force connected people to either switch or like see each other and just like use that as a reasoning to shove us back together and paying XP out for that. That does require,
Okay.
home brewing on the back end, which I think all of us have, if not most of us have done. And we're not gonna look at my pile of notes. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's XP burning. That's like background stuff of like turning into like a game mechanic kind of stuff.
Okay.
The other one, I'm gonna say it this way because it's like the one that'll like make everyone like go, oh, okay, this makes sense. But the drug-induced spirit journey, which is, if anyone who's ever lived in California it's going to the high desert and going to a yurt and having like someone that is like shouldn't be allowed to be giving you the things they give you, allowing you to have like a spiritual journey. Like, they're a spiritual person, they are a practitioner, and a lot of those people I do respect, but it is still sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
But
This is how we make Hava go back home and say hi to her husband.
But it is like, but I say it that way because we do have a cabinet full of like chemicals and stuff, and it's just like, if you could take Isasel and Nora and take them to that near-death stage that we keep making the reasoning of why Isasel keeps going back to the world between worlds, it's a way of like, kind of like, I forgot, there was a TV show that was doing it. I think it was House or something years ago, where it was a subplot of like people would like take themselves to near death so they could have that near death experience with like different chemicals and stuff.
Oh, I know what you're talking
There's
about.
a couple
They're
movies
all
like
med
that, too.
students.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know why, but
movie.
I think so. But yeah, but having the two characters do that to themselves, so taking themselves to like near death, allowing themselves to kind of like go into the world between worlds, to go back to their bodies and come back and use that, and then kind of have that key of if we need to go there, or if we need like a private place to talk that literally, whoa, actually no, they can't even say no one can walk into. So many people walked in there to listen to them talk, including someone that they're not sure is a friend or an ally or an enemy yet. But that's the in-game, like, oh, we have the cabinet next to Isasel and Norin last we see them, with everything they need in there. So it's the two things of in-game doing it on the ship, or out of game spending some like doing some homebrew and like spending XP and having something fun we can work on that we could throw at like the backers or people like, hey, here's a new force power in like in Star Wars. What is it? Freaky Friday. Can you come up with a better name? No.
I would probably try for the triple alliteration of Freaky Force Friday, but yeah. Beyond
that was a better one.
I do kind of like that as a backup. I don't know, this could just be me being too cute with this, but it was the Vadalorn time with Isasel that Alice showed up.
Yes.
Yes.
There is a piece of me that really likes the melodrama of the whole Alice has somehow caused this aspect. Like, it was entirely a bad role, but still, the narrative effects of like, okay, Alice is somehow still in that world between worlds thing. Like, that's the reason why the Kraken operatives were not in there next to Vadalorn, that they're showing up late, is because, well, half of them were out and one of them was trying to figure out how to get Alice awake. Or something like that. Who knows? That's for a fan fiction that I'm probably going to write. At this rate, with the amount of... I at least have got to put down notes for all this crud that has been percolating in my head. There's the high melodrama aspect of the romantic partners being involved. One of the reasons why I'm introducing / coming back around to the idea for Hava was it had been mentioned, I think, in Erica's notes that Hava was Force sensitive.
Oh, Hava was straight up a Jedi.
Okay, Hava is a Jedi, so
She left the Order about 100 years ago. She was a Jedi Knight, left the Order, went back to Mariel, was a spiritual leader, met her husband, had kids, and then when Order 66 went down and everything, realized that in order to keep her family safe and to help the galaxy, she needed to leave. There we go. That's the whole thing.
that's really cool. I love it. I truly do. And I was thinking that it would be an interesting place and like super like WWE level of drama for Hava showing up at this point in this way with like, okay, I've partnered with your girlfriend's ex that decided to snack on her brain because like, tell me this doesn't sound like a soap.
It's very, very telenovela.
Which is the reason why I love it. It's very interconnected, which, yeah. As I say, there's a part of me that really likes the idea of having, like, Hava be the end cause of Norrin and Izazel getting back into the right bodies. And one of the things that hasn't happened yet with the Freaky Friday situation that sort of is in line with one of the things I've been disappointing myself while I've been editing is, while we have been having consequences for different things in the moment, I have not been pressing things to the extent that I, when I'm listening again, feel that I should be. Even in the stuff that we've had so far, with the Freaky Friday situation, I am thinking that we haven't really had huge costs to it yet. It's been very much in the Disney comedy end of things. In a lot of the other situations where this style of brain swap has happened, the discongruence grows greater and greater. And in some ways, it's just because no one's slept yet, but also the longer it goes on, it should.
Another thing with it that needs to be addressed is Izazel is at 12 out of 12 wounds. That probably needs to be fixed.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's limping, and she should. It's one of those.
Something needs to be done about that.
Yeah.
The fact that Norrin is conscious right now is absurd.
It's at least Norrin gets to understand of like how Izazel like operates on mission to mission. Just like she shouldn't be alive. What is going on?
So
Yeah.
yes, I concur with your assessment, Andarta, that we're not making it as big of a deal as we should be. It's more comedy at the moment.
And in game, I think this is right when Kedra just found out.
At this point, we haven't actually explained to Kedra yet. Listeners, there's going to be a little bit of confusion because we've done a few episode recordings that were not really working out, which is one of the reasons why we're redoing the Session 0 at this point. But So there's going to be some confusion.
We recorded 3 episodes that we're not satisfied with and therefore are walking back on.
So there's going to be some confusion about what we've done at that point versus what we're doing, what we're sort of ignoring, but some of the things that we did in those we did like and we're wanting to redo. Because there were some really good things. I still like the idea of Spannerflinger giving out the name tags.
The name tags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes, we told Kedra about the body swap, not sure if she believes us.
Yeah. Like that was the other really good scene in it. Kind of part of the same scene. But at this point, with what the listeners have heard, Kedra knows something is wrong. But like Norn is acting like Izazel is acting a bit like Norn, or just absolutely blitzed out of her mind. And just saying, yeah, let Norn handle it. At this point, having the actual discussion with Kedra is something that we need to redo.
Yes.
That's actually high on my list of things to redo.
Because she has no clue. She protected Izazel, thinking it was Izazel, not knowing it was Norn.
I mean, it started off being Izazel.
Yes.
I mean,
and she's okay with that. She's like, I'm trying to save my friend, and you're all friends, so she wouldn't have changed how she did it, but it's just her mind's going to be blown.
Which is going to be absolutely amazing. One of the things that seems like a very good idea is actually letting everyone sleep for a tiny bit. Like having at least the crew that's at the Codfather deal with the immediate aftermath and then collapsing because at least 2 of them desperately need sleep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sleep or a trauma bay.
Maybe both.
Both. I mean, so here is my assumption about the assassin that attacked the Codfather.
Mm-hmm.
The powers that be that assassinated Amor Still found out that we had discovered the body and were tying up a loose end. My assumption is that she was related to Amor Still's death. A rather neat way to tie this up, possibly, is that the rebel cell that is the Kraken were responsible for Amor Still's death. I'm not entirely sure what their goals are. They part of the assassin of the hut or no?
Going by my thoughts at the moment, or at least going by my notes at the moment, one of the 2 shape changers was taking the place of Amor Still, the coach of the Cracker Cats, the mummy that had been found and was the initial reason why Norn had gotten called back to the Codfather.
Correct.
That is one of the 2, but then with the intensely weird things that have happened, we now have a second shape-changing assassin that
Has taken Trailway's form.
that had taken Trailway's form for at least a short amount of time.
The Trailway in the powder blue suit.
We start getting into a question about the timeline for the Trailway disappearance. And that one, I'm not so, I don't know, the Trailway disappearance / subplot, I'm sort of wanting to set aside until we get more of the other subplots, the bigger subplots, or the bigger plots dealt with, so that then we can like interleave it in that way. Because there's so many possibilities with the Trailway angle. But we do have the 2. No, we haven't revealed that the species of both of them yet. And that they are 2 different kinds of shape changers on account of Andy likes looking up intensely weird cybernetic modifications, as well as remembering, oh yeah, Star Wars actually does have doppelgangers. Yeah, we've got the two that shot up and were extremely wonderfully distracting at the hut. And yes, technically the dice rolls were attempting to shoot the hut. They just failed horribly. Well, not horribly, but they failed.
Yeah.
They were very ineffective assassins at the very least. So one of those is absolutely murderer or the cause of death of a Morsil. Why?
Henry has an idea. And it
Mhm.
and I hate that it's like clicked in from reality of a lot of stuff, but it's just like my brain was like brought back to, we mentioned at the beginning of just like we're at the vampire gala, the vampire ball, but we haven't had the main vampire pop up of this because it's just like we have an NZ, yes, but it's just like this seems like a one that's more working, that happens to be here, like a vampire that walked into someone else's vampire ball. But it just made me think about something because we mentioned that like the two assassins have like light arms. They didn't have the weapons needed to take out a hut. Like Amor Sil is killed probably by one of those two because they're the ones that we know. There was a shape changer on the ship. At least one of them was there,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me think of just like the idea and concept of like a false flag operation, like someone who knows where all 8 ships are coming from, and they're trying to get these like at least multiple like very specific ships to come in at once, and they need a reason to like take over or like take control of this thing going on. It's like obviously none of you people are good at like have your things secured down. It's time for the big boss to come in, which is, all right, hear me out. We have an Anzat who and we know Anzat loves snacking on force sensitives. We have a force sensitive on the Kraken. We have at least one force sensitive on the Codfather. We don't know about the other 6 ships. By the timing of like Amorsil dying, that shape changer might have been in our like at our base, like at ISR headquarters, because they've been there pretty much the entire time. So there's a good chance that shape changer was already there at ISR and probably would have had like some records, like looking around. So hear me out, and this is something that you could cut if you do not want to leave this in here. You want to surprise people later or not. Our main and like a good I thought about, it's like this would be a good way to start yanking threads together of we have one big Anzan, a strong one, who's pulled together these 8 teams, who's like pulled the strings in the background to bring the best snacks possible. If each team has one force sensitive, they might not know they're force sensitive. They might very much know they're force sensitive, and like the Hava and like the Isasel. But in order to bring them together, and then of course a hut would also be a good snack of having all 8 of them together. And of course, some of them are going to be rebel cells because, like, of course, a force sensitive will work with a rebel cell. There might be, like, corporate ones that have paid to have, like, their own force sensitive there that they keep secret. To kind of pull a these 8 teams, this Onslaught, who's been around a long time, has probably been paying attention of the movement of everyone's, realizing, it used to be easy to find a force sensitive. Used to just, like, piss off the order, and they'll just send one to your door. Well, usually they would send like 2 to your door. You get a student and a master, but oh no, but the Sith are only the ones that work.
Appetizer.
But they've been around a long time where they realize like, okay, now it's not as easy. How do I pull them to me? And it's just research, spy work, and then realizing it's like, these are the groups they would be going to, because an Anzat would be millennia smart. Just been like, I've been around a long time. I know these force sensitives know they are not strong enough alone. They would team up with people. Rebel groups, mercenary groups, corporate groups. Like, these are like, and why these 8 teams? Why these 8 groups? It's because it is the 8 groups that have someone there. And it would be funny if like, now maybe it's just our 2 ships. Maybe there's 6 more shape changers who are on the other ships.
So this was an invitational tournament rather than
Yes.
one that they qualified for.
Yeah, because
that had been my intention, yes. I may not have made that clear from any point of view now that I think on it, but yes, the idea was that this was invitational.
you implied it a few times at how you talked about it, but it was a specific invitational, and this hut was like, also, why is this hut involved? This hut's having like, maybe not doesn't know they're an Anza, but know they're real powerful. And they got like, and it's like a good connection, especially if it's like a younger hut. It's like, okay, it's a good. There's some money right here, not knowing the full extent to that even thereupon.
So this is it being an ambush predator intending to gorge themselves, because that's a lot of really heavy meals all at in like a very brief span.
It's a lot of heavy meals.
So either there's only one Anza that is a bit of a glutton, or a couple.
They usually work on their own, and honestly, let's be real, it would be
I
one
know.
very powerful. Well, our couple is, and it would also like be the what's making this like go off of like, hey, this is like weird. Alice shouldn't have been there. Like, Alice is there. Let probably like, if we go with the Kraken or something, like she wasn't supposed to come, but like we did I think we did. It was like, I think it was a despair that pulled that made that where we got the joke of Alice was with the Krakens. Could have been a similar thing of Alice realizing, what's the name on that other ship, the captain? It's just like, oh, used to sell on, and just like, I'm going. What? You're not set up. I'm going. You're not stopping me.
Okay, I adore that.
Yeah, bringing it back to the Vampire's Gala of like, these assassins, they were never gonna win. Now, they were probably originally meant to get away, but we had a Vadalorn right there that no one was expecting. Like, a lot of people here that aren't supposed to be there. Like, Vadalorn's not supposed to. Like, Vadalorn's a brand new addition. This is someone they had no idea about.
And I do happen to be the champion of secrets, so
so they're
I
not going
protect
to
all my own
on.
records.
My whole thing now just has me thinking that this is somehow a weird variant of the original Smoking Aces, where it's just so many different groups playing against each other that have been brought together for almost no reason, or seemingly no reason. I like the idea. I actually do like the idea of like a really old calculating ANZAT. And I'm just, one of the things that kind of has me thinking of is because a great way of having a sort of ambush predator who's in charge of their surroundings would be essentially a crime boss, I think.
Yeah.
Being able to put this together, like at least 6 out of 8 of these is rebel coded or underworld coded teams. So they've way back at the very, very start, the idea was, this was supposed to be a rebel meetup. We're trying to use the tournament as a undercover thing of planning. Like, hey, look, we're meeting up. See, this is our teams. This is how they can operate together, that sort of crud. But I love this idea a heck of a lot more of like someone pulling it together, maybe even using that as some of the underlying invitations, like, have your guys show up and play hutball here. Like, the 8 teams are real hutball teams. They may be like corporate shield type ones, but they are still real teams that do actually play. Then we've got like a hut here that, would be a good snack, but also there are no good huts that show themselves off in public unless they're player characters. Generally, the assumption is, and especially this one that we've already had Kedra meet up with one of the guards of them. It is 100% a like minor mob boss type thing. Like, they are definitely some form of hut syndicate. Like, there's so many classic ways of doing the why are the two sort of bosses meeting up? Is this supposed to be like a negotiation for the hut is bringing gifts to the Anzat? Like, it was a hut who got ISR and the Kraken involved, bringing their force sensitive people. and the Anzat is bringing something that the Hutt wants, or is it like there's so many possibilities with that?
Just to sort of simplify
Okay.
this,
Yeah.
perhaps the Ansett had two main targets, the Hutt and Hava. Because I can't really see a reason to knowingly target Izazel, given that Izazel is a relatively recent awakening from sensitive to user, and that's still under wraps secretive, for one.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is that the whole assassination plan, Norin. So the whole assassination plan with the Hutt is to try and muddy the waters and maybe give the big bad behind the scenes a way to get closer to the Hutt, as well as distract Hava. And then there's also Norin to entice Hava to stay in the area. Because my thought with Hava being the kind of stronger force user that I've envisioned her to be, usually she would be able to see things like this coming from a mile away. So usually she would be like, all right, I'm all set up for this assignment. And then she would wake up from a dream and be like, I'm not doing that. But if it were to involve her child, she would have no choice.
Oh no, that is great. Where essentially Hava has, through one way or another, gotten herself onto the Kraken. That I really do like. It definitely goes with the whole underworld wheels within wheels aspect. I love it.
Yeah. So this is someone who's been hunting Hava for a while, probably. And because Mary Allens are long-lived, and therefore has figured out, like, one is muddying the waters a lot to sort of confuse the Force user, and two, setting up a situation that forces that person to be where they want them to be.
And still gives us the reason why the changeling was on our ship, which is make sure the green one gets on the ship. Make sure that's the ships that goes.
Keep an eye on this crew and make sure this crew makes it to the planet.
Also, why would you hire the intruder to get rid of people? Especially if they learned a little bit about our crew, which is, you might want to get rid of a couple of those people around the green ones. Some of them are dangerous. Stares at Keitra. It's like, have you seen these reports?
And one of them is also possibly a good snack candidate.
And it's like, looking at it's like, there's some, like, especially a changing, would probably have gotten hold of the medical reports at ISR. It's like, the boss might like this one. Probably doesn't know what, like just knows, like, I'll send this one for the boss. If we have changelings that are working for an Anzat, they'd be smart enough to know, it's like, okay, this is the kind of stuff I look for, and it makes the boss happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what they're going to run into is, you never underestimate a player character party.
The changeling is not genre aware. No.
Yeah, changes that genre aware. It's just like, okay, this, like, I see medical reports, and there's some, like, it's that midi thing. The what? The midi chlorophyll. It's not what it's called. Well, it's on the record, so we should probably make sure this one goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps our port assassin was trying to collect Norin. Who can say?
Collect Norin, get rid of some of the others, give a reason for this whole thing to get... Also, give a reason for this whole place to get locked down. It's like, oh no, we can't leave anything now. There's like a ship just got attacked. People were just... Also, why did Port Patrol not get involved? Probably paid off for giving the order. It's like, let this happen. So now there's a ship just got attacked. There's a bunch of dead people. We need to lock all these ships down. No one gets to leave.
Yeah, Port Authority is also, like, not a super big fighting force, so it's not unreasonable for them to just lock down and wait for the proverbial big guns to show up.
Okay, I do have a couple ways to put the Port Patrol for... There's still sort of the question. I'm going with they've been paid off. That's about the only way to make it so that they haven't actually shot at the assassin.
Mm-hmm.
But from a scale of what can the port patrol / when a corporate sector arrive, what can they do? There is the person to person. Like the port patrol does have a boatload of, well, they've got blaster pistols, so that have stun setting, so they can shoot things. On the other hand, also with a port, because this is a semi-private one, all those fun things, it does have ship defense weaponry. So, like, it's one of those things. They've got small things and they've got really big things. They don't have anything in between. And this assassin sort of got out of the personal weapon scale. It's like, well, crud. Now we actually do have to call in the real cops, as opposed to the port patrol, who are usually there dealing with drunks. Like, that is, like, port patrol is dealing with drunks, crew that have wandered off.
Stolen parking spots.
They are not normally dealing with active shooter situations. They're administrative enforcers mostly. Anytime that they generally have to deal with people, it's like they're handing out fines or something along that lines. So, like,
probably one of those moments of like, oh yeah, okay, we're told, like, they're paid off to don't get involved, let it happen. It was supposed to be the assassin goes in, takes out a bunch of people, gets who they need. It was supposed to be like, oh, come back later. But what happened was, hey, you ran into Lone and Aziz, and things got out of control. And now CorpSec is rolling in on this, and it's like, it's like things have gone out of control, but they're still, stick to the plan, which is lock everyone down, don't let the ships leave. The boss is here. Kind of like vibes to it.
that is one of the things I had sort of been forgetting. I've been using, so for Lone and a Z, in a lot of my descriptions, I've been using half-remembered bits of Rocket and Groot. So you've got Lone being this giant Groot stand-in, and a Z being there's Rocket just shooting everything with a laugh. So it's, I mean, it kind of works as a, but with they also would be doing a lot of indiscriminate but also non-targeted damage. Like they're getting everyone to stay away from the ship without causing the giant turrets that are around to turn at them and start shooting, because that would be bad. But no, I am liking this idea that Port Patrol's paid off. Maybe not like specifically that person, but it's like when they're dispatched, they're told just go out, set up a perimeter, and wait for CorpSec to arrive.
Yeah, like CorpSec was supposed to get there, and there's just a bunch of dead bodies, and now they have a bunch of witnesses. It was like, it was supposed to be a ship full of corpses, not a ship full of living witnesses. Come on, amateurs.
Well, I do like that idea. There's a part of me that just with the way that the assassin was when she appeared for Kedra, it kind of felt like she was going off script. Like, while this whole port thing has gone off script from the original, what we just described, the Devronian attacking Kedra or Izazel, like shooting at the land speeder, was something that was like an attack of opportunity as opposed to a more planned out thing. There's a part of me that, yeah, it is adding a layer of complexity to it that probably doesn't need to be there. As much as I bemoan small galaxy theory, I really do like the idea of that assassin sort of, okay, I'm here, I'm supposed to be planting a bomb or something. And, oh wait, I know that person. I have a bounty on them. I have to get revenge on them or something like that. There's a part of me that wants the assassin to have a bit more meaning than just being a cog.
Honestly, I like that. We've got Izazel's backstory tie-in. We've got Norin backstory tie-in. We need Kedra's backstory to tie in.
The ideas you brought up in the forum were really good, Joy.
Yeah, so she has her brother, like her planet. The reason why she left her planet was because the Imperials came to her planet and they overtook it and they killed her brother. And so it could be that her brother was involved in something. I never really said why they killed him. And so now she's off planet and she's wanting to like
And this is the exact point when Joey's cat decided that they were wanting to make sure that safe shutdown procedures were followed. Not that, I mean, it's a cat. It's not like they have an idea of what actually goes on, especially when they accidentally pull the power cable with their belly from falling. But Kitty's okay, computer's okay, Joy's okay. We continued on with the recording, but this is a accidentally okay perfect time for us to bring the episode to a close, and you can tune in 2 weeks to hear the full answer to Joy and more discussion. Thank you, and thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates at linktree/the Hydian Way, and you can find all of my links at linktree/deuteriumice.
I'm Henry, and you can find me everywhere as at Sim Disorder, SYM Disorder.
And I'm Joy, and you can find me on the Other Place podcast season 2 as Talana and live on twitch.tv/joyfullyme2, the number 2, playing a variety of games.
And I'm Sammy. I'm at places on the internet at linktree/goddess Sammy with one fewer S's than you might think.
And you can find me, Erica, in all of my mercenary work at linktree/Erica Goodwitch.
And we are all at thehydianway.com, where you can find previous episodes and previous seasons.
We're professional.
I love you guys.
We are professionals.
See, the wonderful thing about that is that you can just keep your audio that you did really great on and just cut the rest of us.
Oh, this is
because we're separate
absolutely an
tracks.
amazing idea. Yep.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
You can holocom us at heroes@thehydianway.com, and you can find merch at tpublic.com/user/thehydianway.
If you like what we do and want to support the show, you can with the CAF Crew subscription at ko-fi.com/thehydianway.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
perfect.
First try.
First time the whole outro has been on the blooper.
The whole outro is the blooper.
Yeah.
You know what? Play the
Love
blooper
it.
reel before the outro so everyone knows what's about to happen.
I'm kind of tempted to play the blooper reel just after the intro.
Oh my gosh, I love you guys. You guys are great.
Okay, this one's probably getting cut, but I just sort of have to say it because it's now bouncing in my head. Because I can't really figure out how to get the self-sealing stem holds part working, but it just, the holes in the like self-sealing Von stem holds just popped into my head, and I now need to speak it.